for real, one of the most annoying things that I had to learn in photography was how to store and manage my files. And after many trials and errors, I finally found a way that works for me. And today that's what I want to share with you. I want to share with you how I store my files, how I actually organize them, so you don't have to go through the same hassle that I did before. So let's go. I definitely believe that one of the many problems that we have as photographers, especially at the beginning, is learning how to organize and store our files. And today, where we can actually edit our photos from multiple devices, is even more crucial to know how to actually organize your files. I had this issue with my previous organization method that I actually store my files in different locations. So every time I wanted to edit from different places, either my MacBook or my desktop, I always had an issue that I had to carry two storage units with me, otherwise it wouldn't work. And I always found super annoying having to do it. And last week I was organizing my files and I actually changed it because I just couldn't deal with that anymore. So today I want to share with you how this storage method is, and hopefully you'll take some value out of it, because I believe it's very good. I don't think it's the best thing, but for sure is something very beneficial, and I hope that you will see that as well. The way I used to organize my files was like this. I would have a main folder, and this main folder would have the year. Then inside of this folder, I would have the country. Inside of this folder, I would have the location that I would be shooting. And inside of the location, I would have a sublocation if that's what I would need to. For example, if I would do a shoot in the city of Zurich, I would put Zurich as location, and I would have a subfolder for maybe another location inside of Zurich, so I would know exactly where the shooting was. So you can imagine how messy it was organizing my photos like that. So I changed it, and this way that I'm doing now is much better, because I can find any projects, I can find any files that I want way simpler, and it allows me to edit my photos from any other device I have. So first of all, I have a main folder, and then in this main folder I start with a number, and this is the number of the project that I'm working on. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever number. I just use sequential numbers and I continue from there. And from there I have the client, and then after the client I have the project name, and then at the end I have the date, because that allows me to know when I shot that project and already give me information as soon as I look at the folder itself. Inside of this main folder, I have 4 different folders where I keep all the files. Starting with the folder number 1, that's where I keep the Lightroom catalog and sometimes Photoshop files if I have to, but mainly Lightroom catalogs. Then I have the folder number 2, which is the media folder, and in there I will pretty much store the main files, but I have separated by drone, JPEG, RAW, and select. Drone is drone if I use the drone in that shooting, RAW, all the RAW files, JPEGs if I use JPEGs by any chance, and the selects is when I make the select from all the photos that I use. I put in the selects, and those are the ones that I import into Lightroom. Then I have folder number 3, which is the exports, and that's where I export the files, and either being for thumbnail on YouTube or social media like Instagram, anything that is social media related, they all go in there. And the last folder is called temp, which is just a temporary folder for all the files that I will be importing into this main folder that I didn't have time to organize. So let's say I go on a shooting and I have a bunch of different SD cards or a bunch of different cameras, maybe from a bunch of different people. What I do is I grab all of them and I put them into the temporary folder, and only afterwards, when I get home or I'm actually organizing the files, is that I will take the files from the temporary folder and then classify them based on the photos that I need. Look, I know it sounds a lot of work, but believe me, it's not, and let me tell you why. I actually have been using one app called Post Haste, which is not a sponsor. They're not sponsoring this video, but it's an app that has changed my life, especially on the organization side. It's also an app that I heard of from another friend of mine, and I had to start using it because it's just the life saver. I will be posting the link for the Post Haste in the description so you can check it out. Again, it's not sponsored. I just really enjoy the app and I think it's really nice thing to have, and it will definitely help you with your organization. And to use the Post Haste app is actually quite simple. I'm not going to be doing a crazy tutorial here on how to use the app. If you really want to know, let me know in the comments below. I'll make a quick one, maybe a short for you to see, but it's actually very simple. Once you install the Post Haste app, you just need to create your folder structure. I will also leave my own folder structure in the description down below so you can download it for free, and it might help you in case you don't really know or not sure how you want to make your folder structure. You can again copy mine, use mine if you want to. But once you open the app, the only thing you need to do is create your own folder structure, name it the way you want it, and then once you've done it once, it's gonna be there forever. Like forever, ever. Even if the world ends, it's still gonna be there. It's gonna be there forever. So every time you open the app, you only need to choose your folder structure you want. You create that folder structure into the hard drive or SSD that you will be editing your photos from. And once you have that, you just need to import the files from your camera, from your SD card into your now folder structure, and voila, it's all done. And something that I will also not be digging too deep into in this video, but let me show you. I normally edit from SSD. SSDs are a lot more reliable, faster, portable, and much better. I mean, overall, just the best thing you can have. I always edit from them because again, they're much faster than a normal hard drive. Yes, they're more expensive, but it's definitely worth the investment in case you also don't have a bunch of memory in the computers like I do. I generally don't upgrade the memory from my computers. It's just Apple just takes, it's just too much money. So no, I'll just go for this one and it's much better. If you really want to know more about them, let me know in the comments. And this one is just a normal hard drive. Very slow. I would not recommend at all for you to edit from them because it's just a pain. It's just slow, not good at all. And I use them only for storage. I get the files from my SSDs, the ones I already edited that I don't need anymore, and boom, into that hard drive, and there it stays until I need them somehow, somewhere, sometime again, which normally doesn't happen. So I just back it up there, and that's it. Now, one last tip before I go, and probably the most important one. Once you have your folder structure, once you have your files in the folder structure, make sure that you create your Lightroom catalog and place it in the same folder structure. And there's two main reasons. One is your Lightroom catalog and your files will be in the same place, meaning you can just take your SSD, plug it into any computer, and all your edits, all your workflow will be there. You really don't want to do like me and have many SSDs or hard drives plugging into computers just because your files are in one and the Lightroom catalogs are in the other. And the second reason is because if you have one Lightroom catalog for one specific project, instead of having one catalog for all your projects, it will be much faster for you to edit. So the less photos you have, the faster it will be, and more photos you have, the slower it will be. So if you have your Lightroom catalog with every specific project, you'll be saving yourself a lot of time because it's going to be a lot smoother to edit your photos, to go through your photos, and just to be more organized on its own. To have the overview of your photos is much better having a catalog for each project. And that's it. I hope you really enjoyed watching and you take some value out of it, because for me, especially at the beginning, this was very overwhelming. I couldn't handle it. It was super stressful having to know about hard drives and SSDs and how to organize, and I always had issues with that, and until I got to understand how it works, and it became much better. And believe me, it's much better for you to have some sort of organization when you're dealing with your photos, because it will not get in your way of your work. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be much easier for you to work. Thank you so much for watching. I have the Post Haste app link in the description, as well as my folder structure and all the gear that I use, all in there. So if you want to check them out, you'll be most welcome. Again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.